The best defense is a good offense. So before the sewer backs up into your home and wreaks havoc, stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is there for you when you need them most. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle.
KISW presents the KISW Financial Advisor. Here to talk money, please welcome Todd. I invented numbers, so I know how this stuff works. Peach.
There he is. Good morning, Todd.
Good morning, BJ.
Now, here's the deal, man. If you are a person that loves to do, good banking, then you might want to think about a credit union, becu.org, a great credit union, because if you live, work, or attend school in Washington State, you can do everything that you can do at any bank. Except, Todd, what is the difference? Why is a credit union so awesome?
You own me, okay?
That's right. I own Todd. The problem is Todd owns me, so this is a mutual ownership. So just when I think I can take advantage of Todd and make him do my bidding, he turns around and reminds me that he's my owner, and then I have to. So just but being an owner. So I know you say that, Todd, but what are the benefits of me being an owner and a bank having basically all the folks who use the bank being owners of the bank?
Yeah, the biggest difference, BJ, is everything we do is focused on the member and the membership, because by definition, anything we bring in has to go back to the membership. It's a full circle. We don't have stockholders to answer to, so we're not looking to actually make the biggest profit. We're just looking to make sure that we're making the best experience, giving back to our members as much as we can, not having hidden fees or trying to have no fees whatsoever. If somebody does incur like, for example, an NSF fee, we want to educate them on what they can do so they do not incur that fee. So it's all about the member and those decisions. Everything we do is for, is it going to be best for the member and the membership? If not, we don't do it. So that's really the biggest difference. So, I've talked to people that get hit with hidden fees and things they didn't know about, or they're paying too much in interest. And those are things that you can avoid. And if not BECU, just find a credit union. I know that New Year's coming up, and if you're still part of the banking system, make it a New Year's resolution to research credit unions and see if you can find one that's right for you.
Yeah, the cool thing is I'm going to say this right now. I'm double dipping right now, because before I met Todd, I had another bank, and then I met Todd and I said, okay, I'm going to join BECU. While I was with the other bank, they didn't tell me anything. They literally didn't really do anything but just take my money and go, thanks. Whereas there are so many services that if you consider yourself, maybe a little lacking in financial knowledge, there is so many amazing things that you can go find out. BEC will help you understand about all these different programs that are designed to benefit anybody in any situation. And we have a website link that if you just click on the banner at KISW.com, it'll take you to a page that has all these cool links, plus Todd will answer any question that he doesn't get to on the phone lines. So it's really pretty awesome what a credit union can do for you. And we know what Todd's been doing for us and all of our listeners who call in asking for free advice at 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999.
The texts are coming in, BJ and Todd, and one person says, hey, I've been told it's time to start acting like an adult and invest. I don't know where to start. Does BECU have any classes or something that can help me with this? From Rick and Shelton.
Yeah, absolutely. We have if you go to becu.org and you go to our investment section there's a whole host of different seminars on a variety of topics. I think we have actually, if you're interested in taxes and the tax changes, there's a new webinar coming out right now. It talks kind of what to expect for 2022, but tons of resources there. If you really just want to talk to somebody or talk to an advisor, there's no fee to do that. We can hook you up with somebody and you can spend 30 minutes or so on the phone answering your questions and no commitment. And then you off you go. If you don't have a budget together, I would look at this holistically. So investing is one part of it. Investing where what we invest in, how, whether it's your 401k at work or a Roth IRA or whatever that may be, that's one factor. But then you also have the income side and the expense side. So we want to make sure they all work together. So the money you're bringing in is put to the best work for you, and it's going to help you get to your goals, whatever those goals may be.
And Todd, we have a minefield that all of us are going to have to navigate very soon, and that is going to Christmas dinner. And, and the relatives are there. And Todd, you know it. Invariably, there's always going to be somebody who's got great financial advice. An uncle who, whatever, drives the worst car you've ever seen in your life. With cryptocurrencies out there and everybody with their, day trading and what do you tell anybody to be able to navigate? Like, how do I know how to make the right decisions? Because what if I'm an idiot and I don't know, but I really do want to invest and I'm going to be running into people that got all these great ideas?
So if somebody, here's what I think. If somebody's talking about how much money they made, buying and selling stocks, I do the opposite. It means it's time to run if they're talking about all the money they're making in the stock market. But honestly, you can certainly listen, and I'm not saying that people are not going to have good advice for you. But just take it all in and then do the work and the research on the other end after the holidays are over. So if they're telling you to invest in a Roth IRA, absolutely, I would tell you to do that too. So then now go back after the holidays and see, okay, what is your situation? What is my best way of investing? Am I missing out on my company match? That's going to be the first place we're going to look. Obviously, if you go back before that, do I have an emergency fund and what does my debt look like? So it's a great conversation piece, and I love it if it'll get people to act and do the work and research on their end and just not take the advice with a grain of salt.
206-421-ROCK. You can text us at 77999 as we're talking to Todd Peach from BECU.org.
Seems like 401k. It comes up, I think, probably the most of all the texts that we get or calls that we get. And we have a few that are about that since you brought it up. So I said I recently changed employers and I have my 401k sitting. I don't have a new 401k to roll it into. Would you recommend moving to an IRA of some sort?
Yeah, that's a great option. I would probably talk to somebody first, and there's a couple of things here that go into play. First, if you do a direct rollover to another IRA, you're not going to pay any income taxes. You're going to have the universe of funds to invest in. The downside, if you do make a ton of money and you don't have an IRA today, it does cause some tax implications for your ability to contribute to a Roth in the future. But I would say most of the time, rolling that over from your old employer to an IRA is going to be a good choice. It's also possible if your current employer could accept that IRA as well. So you could roll it over if they do accept rollovers from other plans. So that's something you're going to want to look into as well. So I would say most of the time, yes. However, the caveat, let's take a step back and let's look at this and look at all of our options to see what the best solution is going to be for you long term.
We're talking to Todd Peach from BECU.org. Todd, I've been hearing about inflation maybe going up, and, it's not, I have to tell you, I never understand, there's interest rates, then there's inflation, and it always seems like it's bad if either one goes up, but it seems like one of them is going to go up if the other one goes down. So if inflation goes up, what does that mean, and is there anything that makes it good for us if inflation goes up?
Hopefully your paycheck goes up, BJ. So that would be the good side of it is cost of living should increase. So if the cost of goods go up, hopefully your wages are going up in tandem. As far as is it a good thing? Some inflation and healthy inflation is a good thing. We just don't want the runaway inflation that we had back in the 70s, I believe.
That was fun.
I remember when interest rates were on a mortgage were 16, 17%. I don't know if you remember that, but
I paid that, John. I mean, really, Todd, it was nuts. I bought a house for $70,000, and my mortgage was similar to what you could get for a house that was probably $500,000 to $600,000 these days. I mean, that's how crazy that inflation was.
Yeah, and we're so accustomed to 3% and 4%, and interest. We see 4%, we're going crazy, right? But it's really, if you look back at history, that's more of a normal. That 4-ish, 5-ish, even 6% is not out of the norm. But so if inflation, it's going to happen, and some of it's healthy. We just don't want that runaway inflation that we can't contain and keep our wages up to the cost of goods of what we're purchasing.
206-421-ROCK, Texas at 77999. We're talking to Todd Peach from BECU.org.
Another one about the 401k. Someone said, hey, does it make sense for me to remove money from my 401k to pay off higher medical bills that we're currently struggling with?
Oh, that sucks, those medical bills.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I would say, if you take money out of your 401k, you're going to pay taxes on that income. But you're also, if you're under not 59 and a half yet, you're going to pay a 10% penalty. So that's very costly money. And secondly, you don't have the money invested for your retirement, which is what you're trying to do. So what I would try to do is not go that route. Let's see if we can come up with a plan to pay those medical debts off. If we talked about this before, but the National Foundation for Credit Counselors is a not-for-profit organization that has a whole host of accredited not-for-profit counseling agencies. So let's take a look and see if there's a plan we can come up with to get those medical bills paid off, but from the income side, but also see if we can negotiate with the medical providers before it goes to collections. You want to get it before it goes out the door to the collection agency and see if they can work with you on a plan that works for everybody, because at the end of the day, they certainly want to get paid, and you want to make those payments as well. It's not that you're trying to run away from it. So let's see if we can come to a happy medium. So go to nfcc.org, or if you're a BECU member, go to our website and you can see our agency was GreenPath, which is one of those NFC certified organizations.
See, that's the thing, Todd, is that I would never think of going to my bank with a question like that. I would just think I'm on my own, I'm screwed. Because the traditional bank just never made me believe that they could help me out in a situation like that. But you guys actually have a place to send them. Like, if I walked into BECU and said, here's the problem, just like that person had, you would actually be able to help out. And man, that does make credit unions look good. It really does.
We would do everything we can, BJ. And again, it gets back to your question at the beginning, how are we different? And it's about your financial health and getting to where you want to be. And if you have this little bump in the road, we want to try to help you get through that, so you get through on the other end and get to where you want to go down the road.
If you didn't get a chance to get your question read or through the phone lines, you know what? Todd will answer whatever he can. If you go to KISW.com, you'll scroll down and see Todd's smiling face on a banner. Click on that, and he answers every email he possibly can. And if you do live, work, or attend school here in Washington State, man, you are eligible to be a BECU member. It is a really good way to do your banking. And, man, you can check that out at BECU.org. Todd, have yourself a great holiday. We'll talk to you after the first of the year, my friend.
You as well, BJ. Much appreciated.
Hey, how about this? She's coming to the Tacoma Comedy Club later this month. It is good to be talking to her again. Our bud Sarah Colonna joins us at 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
For tank and tankless hot water heaters, for clogged drains, for leaky faucets, for toilets that won't flush. Stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is your trusted source to solve all your plumbing needs. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
Everything is better electrified. Like the guitar, toothbrushes, or cars. And Hyundai has the widest range of electrified vehicles on the market, including the first ever Tucson and Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. You can use electric when you want it or gas when you need it. It's your journey. Evolve it beyond the pump in the 2022 Tucson or Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. Visit your nearest Hyundai dealer or learn more at HyundaiUSA.com. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle.
BJ, we always love having our next guest on, and she's coming back to town, going to be at the Tacoma Comedy Club at the end of this month. Please welcome to the show, Sarah Colonna.
Sarah!
Hi, guys. Hello. Hi. I missed you.
The world is right again because you are back doing comedy in our area. You know what? I think we're on the other side of this almost.
I mean, why? Has there been something going on? I have no idea. No, I'm so glad to be back at Tacoma. Like, not being able to go there last year. I'm always there in December, and not going last year it really, it just made it all feel worse, to be honest. Yeah, it's just like my favorite thing to do.
It's a holiday tradition. I mean, who doesn't want a soggy holiday season? And you come to Tacoma every year for that.
I do. That's right. That's what I look forward to. I usually get to come in and see you guys, though. But I'm glad to talk to you. Finally, it's been too long.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know about you, but you know what? There's sure a lot more of me to see thanks to the Quarantine 15 and more. It's been a bit of a beating for me, actually.
That's okay. The more of you, the better.
Oh, wow.
Speak for yourself. Come on,
that has never been said in the history of anybody, so thank you, Sarah. Apparently something's happened to Sarah during all of this. Maybe a little brain injury or something.
Sarah, so a lot of people, when the world shut down, people picked up new hobbies or just got to spend more quality time with people. Did you notice things that you got to do while you weren't able to do comedy? Did you spend more quality time with John? What was going on in your world?
Well, that for sure is one thing that John and I, obviously with him playing football and me doing comedy, we never usually were around each other very much. We were apart, I'd say 6 months of the year for the most part, sporadically. So I was kind of like, oh, now we're going to be together all the time. I think this is good, right? But, you're like every day I'd be like, oh, hey, you're here. But it was good. It was really good for us. It actually ended up being one of the positives because we got to actually just spend time together all the time. And if, we had enough space in our house that if he walked into a room and I gave him a certain look, he'd be like, oh, I think I'm going to go in the other room and watch TV for the next 2 days. And I'd be like, great idea. So we worked it out, but I would say that was probably in an odd way, kind of the upside of neither of us being able to work with getting to stay home together.
Yeah, because a lot of relationships, man, they don't really weather that very well. I mean, a lot of people don't realize the reason the marriage has gone so well is because they didn't see each other so much. So that's been a tough thing for a lot of people in the pandemic. And then you're doing working from home. I mean, it's just I can't get away from this person.
Yeah, I felt really bad for the people that had to work from home. Luckily, you cannot really punt footballs from home, nor can you really do stand-up comedy from home. I tried it once, and that wasn't fun. So I would say that was the one thing is we didn't have to work, so we really basically just had to find ways to, keep ourselves. We're both pretty self-maintained as far as keeping ourselves entertained and whatnot, but we didn't have the pressure of having to work from home on top of it.
And did I hear you say that you did at least try to do comedy from your home once? Because I know Patton Oswalt just went out on his balcony or something or his front yard and decided to do jokes for people, and they were just like, "What is happening?" Did you try to do comedy at your house? You did?
I did one online thing, and it was actually for Spokane and Tacoma. It it was a good reason. They were like, we're going to give they were basically putting all the money, most of the money from the tickets towards their employees who are out of work.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, all right, well, I can't say no to that. And, because they have Tacoma has the club in Spokane too. So I did it for them. And actually it was the most well-run one I've seen. And it was actually super fun, but it's so hard to do comedy on Zoom and feel any kind of decency about yourself at the end of it.
That was my question. So does everyone, because I have my buddy Jack Cunningham Jack Stevens, I think he goes by, does comedy around here, and he was doing a lot of like the Zoom stand-up stuff. And are the patrons or the audience, are they unmuted so you can hear them react, or like how does that even work?
I know. Well, so what they did on this one, which was smart, was he had just like 10 employees unmuted or something so that you could hear them laugh. And then, but you can't have, if 1,000 people buy online tickets, you can't have 1,000 people unmuted. You're going to hear dogs barking and, kids crying and a mess. So I think that the way they did it was best, and you at least got a little feedback and could see the faces of these, handful of employees and feel like, okay. And so it was fun, and it was sort of like it felt sort of needed, and that was way back kind of in the beginning of it all in 2020. But that being said, I never did it again, and I don't plan to.
Heckling on Zoom probably is like a whole new art form, too. Like you have someone that just unmutes themselves to try and heckle you.
I know, right? If I got heckled from like during a Zoom show, that would probably be it for me. I'd be done. I'd be like, I'm just done with the whole thing. I'm never doing this again.
Oh, man.
You just leave the meeting. I'm out.
And Sarah Colonna is going to be live, and she's going to be at the performer at the Tacoma Comedy Club. You're going to get to see her for 3 shows, the 30th, the 31st, and the 1st, 3 nights. And tickets are available at TacomaComedyClub.com. You can also tweet Sarah at Sarah Colonna. So how long have you been back doing live shows, Sarah? Because it had to be the first time where you get to go back to a club and actually perform in front of a live audience. That had to be like, oh, man, a breath of fresh air, maybe even an epiphanous moment. I don't know.
It was. It's been, it was sporadic because it was like I went into first shows I did live. It were in the fall of last year in Wisconsin. And one of the clubs had opened up for like partially. But then it was still weird because then I got there and they were like, cases are rising. And I was like, am I supposed to be doing this? I don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. But it was fun. And the club ran it great. Audiences were happy to be out. So it ended up being really, really good. But then right after that, kind of things like clubs were going through. I felt so bad for them, just like everyone else, obviously going through like opening, reopening, closing back down, having to change their capacity limits, all those things. And then it was finally in like spring of this year that I was able to start, and it seemed like it was pretty consistent again. So that's been good. And that it definitely, gosh, not doing it for so long was really weird. So it felt really good to get back on stage. And John Ryan, everyone's fave.
I know that guy. Didn't he used to do something for somebody? Didn't he do something for some team around here one time?
He played quarterback for one game.
He threw touchdown passes. Damn straight.
Oh, man. Seriously, Sarah, I know I'm interrupting you, but, man, the way the season's going, boy, we miss those days. Can we just we miss those John Ryan miracle days? Oh,
I've definitely noticed. I've noticed a lot more people out posting things like that lately, and they're like, remember this? Like, because I know it's been a rough season. We obviously still root for the Seahawks and watch, and we're like, but they'll be all right.
Yeah, so I did interrupt you. You were talking about how you and John Ryan, what are you and John doing as far as comedy's concerned?
No, I was just going to say he's going to be at the Tacoma Comedy Club with me. He's going to host the show. He was like, I want to host it, and which he has done before, and it's so fun. He doesn't. He's like, I like to tell everyone the rules of comedy and tell them how to behave, and then he just tells a couple stories, whatever. But he was I didn't think he'd want to do it because he'd done it before. And he asked me if he could, and I was like, someone also was pent up during the pandemic and wants to get on stage, do ya?
Now, Sarah, only because I used to do stand-up comedy, so I am familiar with the fact that sometimes the headliner really doesn't want the opener to mess the crowd up. And and so it's like, how do you deal with the fact that, yeah, it's your husband and, he can do a little bit, but, you don't want him to mess up the crowd. Have you had to have that conversation with him?
I try to keep him in line, but, the good thing is it's like, I know he has gone to so many shows, and he just does it. He only does it in the Seattle area because he loves the people there and has fun with it. Like, he would never go try to do it anywhere else. But he's just like, I can tell a couple stories that, that people would know, or about being on the Seahawks or whatever it is. And so he just likes doing it there, and because he likes the people. And I know that he's going to be funny, and that he's also not going to be up there for too long. And that he's not gonna try to be a hero and be up there for any longer than he needs to be. And it's perfect. We have so much fun when he does it, and they pay him in Bud Light.
I need his agent.
That's awesome.
And that got me thinking, because you mentioned how he has a good time and he doesn't stay up there too long and doesn't make things weird. Without having to name names, obviously, but has there been instances where you've showed up? Because sometimes you probably don't even know the other comics, and you're just like, this girl is just killing the crowd in a bad way. Oh, yes. Oh, for sure. And to be fair, I'm sure in my early days, people felt that, a couple of headliners felt that way about me. So just to be fair, I'm sure there were a couple of times when I first started out that someone felt the same way. Now they don't, obviously, so everyone comes see me. But yes, I've definitely seen it. And I'd say the one that's frustrated me the most is I was working with someone who I've seen them once before. I had worked with them once before, and I just was like, it's so, this person could be so funny, but they're just doing, I'm being careful to not even say if it was a man or a woman, because I don't want anyone to put it together. But it was just like, dirty to be dirty and no jokes to it, and just sort of like that shock thing. And when you're brand new and you haven't done a ton of comedy and you're just doing that, the audience is just like, wait, what's happening? And the couple times I've seen this person, it was like the exact same thing and the exact same jokes that were not getting any laughs and were in fact getting kind of like dead silent stares of shock. And I thought, but they're going to figure it out. I think they'll figure it out. I wanted to say something, but it's not.
Yeah, because I've been that guy who's actually the headliner said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Oh man, it's the worst feeling in the world, because you already know you're bombing, and then you get off the stage, and usually there's a middle performer, and the headliner's just like, "Thanks. Why don't you just ruin the whole night for everybody?" And it's like, oh man.
That's not going to help. I feel like that's not the time or the place. I just said, I just shook their hand and said, great to work with you this weekend. Like I'm not going to ruin this person's day or anything. And, the thing about that is you just have to be confident enough as the headliner to be like, I can get on stage and bring them back. And usually, you usually can, because I think most people understand in that situation that someone's pretty new, and then they're about to be like, it's okay, we'll get through this, 5 or 10 minutes, and then just like they're going to be with John, they're going to get through that 5 or 10 minutes, and then they'll get to see me. Thank God he's not home to listen to this conversation right now.
And this is the secret to a successful marriage. Statements like that, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to see Sarah Colonna, which we highly recommend, because, man, we all can use a good laugh. And Sarah's got the kind of show where it doesn't matter where you are in life. Sarah is going to bring us together. She's, I don't know if people know this, but Sarah's called the great unifier in the world of comedy. I don't know if the people know that about you, Sarah. I
did not. I was not expecting you to announce that today. I thought that was coming out tomorrow. But yeah, that's
sorry for that.
No, that is what they call me.
Yeah, it's a whole new brand. And Sarah Colonna at the Tacoma Comedy Club, December 30th, 31st, January 1st. You want those tickets? TacomaComedyClub.com. Sarah, we love you lots. Hope you have a great holiday season. Tell your husband that, he's all right. Hope he has a pretty good season too,
He did tell me to say hello to you guys, and we cannot wait to see you in person sometime in the near future.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Sarah, always good talking to you. Take care.
Thanks, you guys. Talk to you soon.
So, yesterday, Steve, he did get this one wrong.
Knuckles the Echidna is one of the main characters from what video game series?
Donkey Kong.
No.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
No.
Fortnite.
No.
No, it's Sonic the Hedgehog, which Sonic 2 is getting a lot of buzz. People, they can't wait for that movie. Some people just can't wait for their shot at beating Steve. So you get that coming up right now. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Migs. We'll do that at 8:50 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. How do I know if bankruptcy is going to provide me with relief? What are the steps for my situation?
There's so much information out there about bankruptcy with the internet and what people have heard from friends and other people that they've talked to about their financial issues or bankruptcy. There's also a lot of bad information out there or urban legends about bankruptcy. In order to determine whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, you need to talk to an attorney that's experienced in bankruptcy. So in order to determine whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, you should talk to an experienced bankruptcy attorney. And my job is not to convince you to file bankruptcy. My job is to help you to make that decision and have all the facts so that you can make an informed decision about whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, what benefits it's going to have for you, and what the downside of filing bankruptcy is.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com.
A burst pipe at 3 a.m. is a bad way to start the day. A cold shower in November isn't invigorating. So before you start freaking, call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is just one call away 24 hours a day. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.